We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred.
With Maxwell Silverhammer.
We are nothing sacred. With cruise control. We are nothing sacred. This year's almost done, thank God.
And the Nothing Sacred show is here, and we might as well drink Yeah. Anyways, it's a Nothing Sacred show. It is the 15th of September, December. Excuse me.
Did you say September?
Yeah, it did because this year it would actually go back a couple months before it ends this shit. Like, oh no, it's not December, it's September. You got 3 months of this shit yet.
Yeah, you have 3 more months of bullshit.
December 15th, 2020. I am Cruise Control.
And I'm Maxwell Silverhammer.
And we're here for our little pre end of the year, a little celebration. Season's greetings to you all. I hope you all give each other 6 social distance hugs for the holidays.
How do they do Santa this year? How are they doing?
They don't. Santa. No lap sitting for Santa. No.
Damn. Do they Zoom Santa?
You sit. What I saw one was where they had him sitting across a table from Santa. And Santa was So
okay, well, at least they still get to see Santa. Actually, did you hear about that crazy fucking guy that when the kid said, "I want a gun," or something?
Yeah,
he said, "I'm not going to deliver a gun to you," or some crazy.
Yeah, because that's politics in your Santa right there. Mix them all together.
That's Joe Biden is Santa, but actually, I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing Santa Claus this year.
Dude, he would. He probably. So if someone told him he was Santa, he would probably believe it at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's what he is, dude. He's the political Santa Claus.
Yeah, he's a fucking
kind of dopey.
Yeah. Joe. Merry lockdown.
Yeah, man. Well,
so we're here. So we are just gonna have a little touchdown here, let everyone know we're still alive and still kicking.
Still around. We got some new subscribers too, man.
Oh well, welcome to our little corner of the internet, our little cubby hole.
Hole in the wall. You call it
hole in the wall of our on YouTube, our little where we're not big enough to be noticed, so we can get banned yet.
No, which is all right with me.
Yeah.
But we got one today and we got one yesterday.
Oh, welcome to our humble abode, I guess you could say, because we're about to tell you how shitty the world is and how everything's
just bitch at you about all kinds of shit. Well, so I got some lighthearted stuff too, man. Tonight,
okay, so let's go with the heavy stuff first. This is some weird ass shit that happened to me. And you love cop stories, so you're gonna like this.
Oh yeah.
So I don't want to get too detailed. I can't get too detailed. No one's gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about, but you'll know. I
know the person.
Yeah, my apartment is shared. I share a kitchen area with somebody else. So there's 2 rooms on either side of the kitchen.
God, you had an issue with a neighbor that lived in there at one time, didn't you?
Yes. That they a neighbor wasn't supposed to be living in there, and they had in my kitchen. They got arrested and threw shit around there, and then they came back later on. That's a whole different story. You can go look up around. I don't know.
One of the old shows back to 2016 or something.
I think it was way back 2015. Hell, it might have been before we even started doing. No, I don't know. No, that was for.
I think you're right. I think I may have been still at all time.
I think you may have, because I remember calling in that day and talking about it, and it was a trippy story. But either way, there's a bunch of this is Eugene, Oregon, so there's a bunch of loonies running around here sometimes. So anyway, so I am. I'm sitting in my apartment that Friday afternoon, just chilling out, doing whatever I do, gaming or whatever. And I hear some voices on the stairs outside of my apartment. And I hear, and it sounds really official, because I don't know if you noticed this, maybe you have, but there's a way that you can kind of tell when it's cops.
There's a tone that they use.
A tone, and just like, hey. And so I'm like, what the fuck? So I peek out and I see a bunch of cops sitting on my, standing on my, not balcony, but my stairwell, and they're talking to my neighbor, and of course the way they said it, they say, hey, go back inside. I wanted to say,
I was gonna say, did you get told to go inside?
I want them to say, eat my asshole. You can't tell me to fucking close my door, but But I was like, you know what?
Well, actually, it is a safety thing, man. In case somebody starts shooting.
Maybe,
You know.
maybe, but still, the way they say it, dude. Listen, just because you got the. This is why people hate police officers, because you got this fucking. Hey, go back inside, little man. You know, like oh, okay.
That was the tone that they took with you.
Like,
Yeah,
go back inside or shut the door or something like that. And I'm like, go back, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm sitting there and I'm standing at the door. I'm like, oh, what the fuck's going on? So I'm like, I'm not gonna move away from my door. You know, I'm curious. Like, what the hell's going on? So my neighbor, is talking with the cops. He's being really, really friendly. Like, hey, how you doing? Like really chatty. Like, hey,
buddy, kind of. Yeah. Okay.
And so one of the cops says, oh, let's go into your apartment. So they go into his apartment, and they go into my kitchen area. And the cop's like, are you sure you want to do it right here? And I was like, your neighbor might be able to hear. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
So they start interrogating my neighbor, and I start about.
Now you can hear everything, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, what the? And I could hear everything, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Until they started talking about, well, so did you ever touch him in that way? And I'm going,
sexual assault.
Holy fuck! And he's getting interrogated about a sexual assault in my living area. And I'm like,
oh fuck!
Are you not in my kitchen area? So I'm like, and he's like, well, this because his nephews used to come over, I guess, hang out over there. I just didn't pay attention.
Hell no.
I didn't pay attention much, because I'm not, it's none of my business. I don't care who has over his place, as long as he's not too loud, he's playing video games. I might see it, like they might have stepped in the kitchen while I go in and grab something from the fridge or something like that or whatever.
You never heard his nephew screaming like,
no,
stop!
No, nothing like that at all. I mean, I don't make those assumptions, because people hang out with their family all the time,
Right.
But I start hearing stuff like, well, I've never actually massaged him, and I'm like, okay, I ain't listening to this shit. I'm not. So I'm putting on headphones, dude, because I'm like, you know what? There's a point where it's like, hey, this ain't my damn business.
I'd have been transfixed,
dude.
I was torn me away.
I know, but I didn't want it because I didn't want. That was making me feel kind of sick, like kind of fucking like like gooey on the inside, like greasy and nasty.
Well, I guess being that it's your neighbor too, it's like,
dude, and
you'll never be able to look at him the same.
And I'm like, well, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? So and this is going on for like 2 hours, and I'm like sitting there, I'm trying not to listen. And parts of it, I am like, because I'm trying to hear if they're done or not.
Right.
And so we're sitting there listening, and all of a sudden, like about an hour or two later, I finally hear someone that goes, all right, stand up. Okay, go ahead and put your hands behind your back.
Oh,
and they
fucking cuffed.
They arrested him in my kitchen area. So fucking
damn.
So they're taking him downstairs, and he's like, "Can I at least smoke a cigarette?" He's like, "We'll have to hold it for you while you're walking downstairs, before you get to the car." And I guess he had called a friend because something's going on. Because I heard Facebook or something else a couple of times, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" So
shit.
So I'm just like, "Oh, okay." I don't really know what's going on here, but I'm just now at this point, I'm like, "All right, I could." I'm like, "Whoa," because they're done talking. So apparently.
Right.
He's like, I can't believe you're judging me like this, and I can't believe that there's no way that you can just get hearsay, and I guess I heard a part where I guess they had taken pictures of the room, and it like met the description of the of what the kids said, but I'm like, but of course they were there, whatever. So they take him out, but I guess a friend of his, like a girlfriend or something, was already there, so he was doing dishes at the time when they came, I guess, and they So she comes in and she's talking to someone else on the phone, and she's doing the dishes going, yes, I known him for years. He lived with me with my kids. I trust him with my kids, with my life. And she goes, this is complete and fucking bullshit. Like I guess there's some crazy shit going on. But the creepy part obviously was that it happened, because now I go in my kitchen, I'm like, oh, fuck, because I haven't heard anything, and I haven't had anybody go up and down the stairs the last 4 days,
Right.
Like I don't know what the procedure is, or whether he would have bail or not, or anything like that, or who fucking knows. But the scary part is, what if who knows if those kids were telling the truth or not?
Was he meeting kids off Facebook? That's what it sounds like he was doing.
No. It was family. It was his.
Oh.
It was his nephew or somebody else. Like I said, I don't know too much about it, because I know that it was a person who was coming over there. And I don't even remember his name. So like I said, I don't know anything about him. But the trippy part of it is like I said, is just knowing that I mean, who knows what went on. Like I said, I don't even know if it's true or not, because kids, dude, especially today, dude, man.
Yeah.
if
wake up shit.
Yeah, if their parents are not, because he'd come over a lot. That's the thing, and that's one thing I heard. It's like, why would he always want to come over here all the time? He's always calling, begging me to come over, and why would I do something like that if I. So
wow.
But that does make a point. But that is a kind of a point in a way, because he wasn't a younger kid, like. But also maybe his parents were just complete assholes and didn't give him any attention, and he just was crying for some kind of attention or something. But the scary thing is, if you know someplace, if you open your house to your family, right, and your kid, you're like, hey, come over, I can play some video games, and you're completely innocent. You just like hanging out with
like
your
you used to do that with your nephews, like let them come over and play video games.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, what if they can just ruin your life that way without any. I mean, how do you prove it? Like,
well, that's what's crazy too, man. Because I watch a lot of these, like Predator Catchers Alliance, and a lot of these, videos where what they do is they lure these guys in. They have decoys on these websites.
Yeah, but that's
somebody
websites. That's not family though. That's like someone like.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying though. It's hard as hell for these guys to do anything. Usually, there's even been situations where cops have been there and they're like, yeah, this guy's here to meet a 14-year-old boy, and they're like, all right, well, you just need to come down to the station, do a report, and blah blah blah. And it's really difficult. Where in this case, it's a family thing, and somebody just makes an allegation. Oh yeah, he tickled my balls. Then all of a sudden the cops are there busting this fucking.
And I don't understand what the point of I understand taking taking pictures of the room, like.
Ooh.
I guess they were because of his room, but I don't understand why that would be even a reason to do that if he admitted that they were over there. Like, okay, yeah, they were over here hanging out. Like, why would you need? Well, that proves it. That proves that he didn't know. It just proves that he was here. It doesn't prove that anything happened.
Or if the kid's describing the room, well, like the refrigerator's in the left corner, the sink.
But if it goes, yeah, I've already been here. That'd be like me going to your house and then they take pictures. Well, you were there. Like, yeah, he was here. Yeah, he was there. You're guilty. Like what?
Right. Yeah. You know what? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of more of a.
Maybe they have more than they're saying. I don't know, but I guess but the woman seemed extremely like this is complete bullshit. Like there's something fucked up going on. And she was talking on the phone while she was doing the dishes. So then she leaves and. It's just a weird experience. Like, fuck, man. Like, 'cause that's something. I know maybe you would be like detached from it, but I don't know, man. I was like, nah, I'm not. I don't have any desire to know any more about this than I fucking need to. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, you know me. I gotta listen. I'm nosy, so I'm like,
well,
what's going on?
At first, I was like, oh, what the hell's going on? And then when it got to, like.
Yeah,
talking about like, and I heard the word shower, and I'm like, no. I am not fucking listening to this shit. So I put on some World of Warcraft and blew some dragons of Daedalur up. Fucking fought the Shadowlands and killed some fucking some undead.
Deprians, yeah.
But that's the thing. That's a scary thing. Like who do you how do you know who's being maybe they I know they have tells, like they have. Like when they're interviewing and they have tells, and that's why I was mentioning the really friendliness. Hey, like, officer, I know you guys do your job and you're doing a good, that kind of stuff. Like, I wonder if that's just like a tell, like, man, you're, which is fucked up. Because if you're really friendly, just, if you feel like you have nothing to hide and you're just being like, hey, I'm not, but they're like, hey, you're being too, you know what I'm saying? You're being too nice, yeah.
I don't know, man. Could that be a profile of a sex offender? Like, well, he's extra friendly,
I'm talking about just to the cops. Like, maybe he's just so nervous. Like, maybe it's a tell. Like, he's trying to be really friendly to like put him off as he's a great guy, good guy, and wouldn't do that kind of thing.
That's what I mean. Every time we've had situations with police, we've always been very friendly and relaxed. It's the worst thing to do is when you tense up and act stupid and all that kind of shit. So
yeah, but maybe
he did the best thing possible.
Maybe it's the way he was acting. I don't know. All I know is that I haven't heard anything from that dude in a week, and it's like fuck.
So he's locked up, man. Presumably,
Yeah, creepy, or who knows what happens? Like, who knows? I mean, who knows where he's at right now? I mean, I don't know why he, if he would have had like, I don't know if you do bail or not, if he's just still stuck there. It's just kind of weird.
Just can't pay it.
I didn't know him very well, so either way, I'm not saying he's innocent or he's a guilty little fucking child fucker. Like I have no idea, and I don't want to know any more about it. Honestly.
Which, by the way, speaking of sex offenders, I just found out that that Clemente guy, the one that was coming on to me at the bar there, he's on a sex offender registry.
Oh, lovely.
So, yeah, one of the bartenders found that out, and she was showing us on her phone. We're like, oh shit.
Damn. So is he no longer allowed in there, or?
Well, I don't think. I mean, you know, he was actually in there. This was back in like July, something like that, and he was in there with some other dude. And he hasn't really talked to me.
That's good.
But I'm just thinking, man, I wonder if that fucker just goes around and preys on, you know, unsuspecting dudes or what the hell?
Disabled people. And he's like, hey, that blindo, I can get him into those.
I could fuck him and he wouldn't even know it.
Probably would. He'd probably think he was taking a shit instead of getting fucked.
It's just going in the opposite direction. That's all.
That's all. All this jab in real quick and pull out real slow, like a poop's falling out of his butt. You know, like.
So yeah, man.
Okay. Yeah. So that was fucked up. So that just makes me think, man.
That's crazy.
Like, yeah, it is kind of a crazy story, huh?
That's
I hear the cuffs like, and like, holy fuck.
Yeah, it's distinct. You can hear those cuffs.
But I almost knew it was coming. Like I knew it was coming. Like regardless of what the dude said, I could almost feel it because the cop was being very quiet and talking to you. Hey, you know, and
so it wasn't even we're going to question you and then we'll come back later if we got any questions or anything. Nope, this is like we're here to take
snatch and grab, dude. So I don't know what that means. But I guess it may have been more than one. Like I guess there were two kids that were there at one point. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to get too.
Yeah. Well, fuck you. You know, you never you never know. You know, it's hard to tell. Like I said, I was even shocked about Clemente. I mean, I thought, well, okay, he's a weird guy, but I wouldn't think, you know, sex offender. But,
yeah, so
fuckers up.
Yeah, happy holidays to that family right there. Dude, fuck, man, they're gonna have a great Christmas, sir.
Oh yeah, loving it.
Yeah, or whoever. So, I believe it's nephews. I don't know even specific. I just know that they were over there a lot actually over the since he's been here, lived here.
Yeah.
So you know, I mean, that could mean nothing at all. Like I said, I'm not one of those fuck faces who believes that a dude alone in his apartment. Why are you having them over? Because they're family and they're fucking
right.
If they were his kids, you wouldn't care. But nephews, all of a sudden, nephews become like some fucking you're a nephew. Hey, your kids are over there. Oh no, those are my nephews.
What do you got with kids that aren't yours at your house?
You're doing to them over there, and I because like I said, the point was that they were over there, and I bet their home life is shit. It's my personal instinct tells me that they were over there because they didn't want to be at home.
And the parents said, all right, we're gonna say that he was sexually molested.
I don't know, but that's the thing. Who knows? But kids, like I said, especially today, kids believe they're dragons now. So who the fuck knows? Kids will tell you, I'm a dragon, because I'm special. Maybe that's a new that wouldn't surprise me either. The victimhood mentality, like, dude,
could be
like, I was sexually abused. A victim. I was sexually abused, or he could just be a really clueless dude who just knows he did something but is in denial. Because that's happened a lot. Well, I didn't know. I didn't do anything. What are you talking about? I didn't do anything.
Yeah, it's a real hard. You can't really pass any kind of judgment there, man.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, well, shit, dude. Whatever happens.
Yeah.
Hope that wasn't the case, but hey, if it was,
it is what it is. Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, I guess since we're covering the heavier shit, I was just going to say real quick, I talk a lot of shit about and this is kind of a bad segue, but I talk a lot of shit about our governor. I call him Governor Similac and all kinds of other shit. But I'll tell you, man, I mean, he extended the pause is what he's calling it. So they're encouraging people to stay home, encouraging people to wear masks and do the social distancing. But, man, he could have easily shut up everything down and took us back to where. Exactly, and he didn't. So right there, I got to give the dude a little bit of props, man. Like, okay.
I don't know. See, now think about it. Now we were talking about this on the podcast with Don Verb and
Mike and Danielle.
Yeah. Don Verb and that podcast about the boiling water thing. See, 6 months ago, you'd have been like, what the fuck? Who the fuck do you think you doing cutting down this shit for 20% or whatever? Or taking people that can't go out. Now you're like, well, you know what? At least he didn't shut everything down completely.
Well, and that's true. You got a point there. The boiling, what do you call it? The boiling fish or the boiling
frog? It's where if you put a frog in boiling water or in water, and it's not regular water and it's swimming around. If you slowly increase the heat over time, slowly, they will die, not realizing that the water is boiling, and they would be too late. It's kind of the same thing. Well, like little freedoms. Because 6 months ago you would have been like, dude, I'm not taking this. When this started.
Oh yeah. Well, we remember there was a time where he did lock everything down.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a part of him that realizes, hey, I can't do that, man. I would
Well,
destroy this state.
They're,
You know what I'm saying?
Shit, I don't think he gives a shit about that. Honestly, I don't think any of them do. I
Well,
don't
I think-
trust any of it now. The whole system's fucking jacked compared with all this election shit and this COVID shit. Vaccines ready
yeah.
though? Oh, I get your
Yeah.
butts ready to bend over and take that one.
Oh yeah, well, they can enjoy that one. That's whatever.
Yeah, I'll let everyone else take it and then and deal with the side effects.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I'll be like, yeah, well, I'll see how it looks out in 6 months. If people
Yeah,
fucking
I'm
are walking
good.
around, if people's fucking hands fall off and shit and they fucking burst into flame, after I got the vaccine, and they're fucking
Right.
heads explode.
But I guess I just was kind of glad because there was a lot of talk of him shutting everything back down again, and I was like, oh fuck no, man, we don't want to go back to March. So I guess I'm still happy that you can still at least go to restaurants and go to bars and
But the thing is, just like, oh, thank you, Mr. Government. They shouldn't be able to tell you to do any of that. They shouldn't have the power to do that.
Well, you're right. They should.
But
they should.
do, and like I said, it was the lockdown's complete. Now it's like, it's only half lockdown now. Oh, it's lasted for 7 years, but it's okay.
Right. It's kind of bullshit anyway. I mean, it's not like nobody's gonna stop you and say where you're going or what you're doing.
Yeah, I think I think there's a lot of bullshit going on with that. But
you'll see when you're out here, man, because you're coming out next week.
Yeah, I'm coming out for a bit of a. We'll see if everything works out on the flight and everything like that. We'll see if it all
Yeah, you'll be fine, man. It'll be just like how it is normally when you're here. Just the normal shit. You just got to wear your mask when you're in public, and that's what it is, man.
Yeah, and another good thing is that the delivery has exploded. So if we can't go to, because I am owed some a bet for Red Robin.
Oh yeah, I got you when you come here, man.
So
I got you for you, and everybody who listens to the show remembers the bet too, because I had a few people kind of talking to me about it.
Oh really?
So,
no, well, it's going to be a Red Robin extravaganza. I'm going to get dessert too.
You can.
Now, what we can do though, what we can do is if we can't get actual there to the actual restaurant.
Yep.
There's always that Grubhub that shit. Get that shit delivered to your house.
We can do that. We can do that too.
But I don't know. There's something about going to a restaurant to eat, which is different.
No, all you got to do is make a reservation. I've done it here, so it's
make
not,
a reservation, just go, and then no one's there. But it's still you have to eat. You have to take off your mask and then eat and then put your mask back on.
No, none of that shit. None of the places I've been. You just take your mask off and while you're sitting, and if you get up, you put your mask on.
Yeah.
So, but
fucking joke. It's non-scientific.
It's ridiculous. I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm just.
Yeah, it gets even more ridiculous, dude. Did I tell you? I think I told you about this last time we were on the show. But I did a Earthling show, earthlingmusic.com, by the way. We're rocking and rolling.
Oh yeah, how did that go when you guys were performing outside, man?
Oh, it was
what
great.
Happened?
We went to the parade, and we did a parade we were part of the parade for the Springfield Library on Earthling Music. Like I said, is our you can go there and find us at earthlingmusic.com. And get wherever you want to from there if you're interested. Also, we're on YouTube. Look up Earthling Encore, and then you can follow us, and we'll have new episodes. Got a new camera, so our stuff's getting better and stuff. Show sounds good.
By the way, my battery took a shit the other night, man. When I was watching it, it prompted me. You have 5% battery left, and I'm like, fuck. And it was only 8:00, so I was just like,
it's okay.
All right, man. I said I'll shut it down and go to the bar.
Yeah, well, hey, it's good stuff. Like I said, you can tell the quality is getting better, and we're getting better, and we're only getting started. Like I said, this was just the beginning. But anyway, it was an interesting show. As we were standing for 3 hours in the back of a trailer that was leaning back a little bit. How the curbs kind of slant. So if you have a car on the sitting by the curb, it's going to be a little bit slanted. You know what I'm talking about?
On a hill kind of thing.
Well, like on the curb, like how maybe this isn't in Vegas. They not have. Well, you still have a little bit where it's like you're on the side of the road basically. So the road kind of is a little bit on the side. So we were actually pointed a little bit up. So imagine yourself standing on a slant that's going like if you're on a hill.
Okay.
Going up, we're standing there for 3 hours. So man, my back was killing me afterwards. But the point I was making about that was that we had to wear masks the whole time while we were doing it. So,
that must have been interesting, especially when you got to sing.
Yeah, it was interesting. We're outside. Everyone's in their cars, and we still have to wear masks while we're doing this thing on this fucking back of this truck. It's so stupid.
And that's what they told you. You guys got to wear. Where'd the truck come from? Who got the truck?
Oh, it was they handled that through the library. So.
Oh, the library did the thing. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So we went through that and did that, but this standing there, and at first I was wearing a certain kind of mask. and it was a little heavier. So I'm trying to sing, and I'm breathing in, and the mask is, you know how you breathe in through cloth, you know, and it's like,
Oh yeah, you suck it in.
yeah, and it will stick it in my mouth. I was like, what the fuck? So I had
Right,
to put on.
you suck it into
yeah.
your mouth, like, oh fuck,
I had
you know.
and it was like I couldn't breathe. So it was like pulling into my nostrils, so I couldn't really sing for the first half of the song. So after that, I had to
Shit.
find a different mask. But it was interesting. It was interesting. And the cold air.
Cool.
It was cold out, so I'm fucking singing in the cold. I had some tea though. It was good though. It was a great experience, great live musical experience. Cutting our teeth with the rest of the band, you know. So
Nice. Your first live performance, as it were.
yeah,
you
one
know,
of them.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, one of them. My
Nice.
first, and then yeah. So it was good. Good experience
shit.
overall. But just the whole point of just the lack of scientific. It doesn't make sense to where. It doesn't make sense.
Oh no, it's totally stupid, and it's just a bunch of commie control bullshit, you know, which I completely agree with. But you know, like I said, I was happy that he didn't shut everything down. I was like, oh god, I thought he was going to close it all up, like, you know,
Yeah,
do the California.
Your main fear. Let's be honest. Your main fear was not being able to go to work. I think.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
You didn't like.
You're
that.
right.
You sitting around made you feel like you were 20 years old again, going, I don't want a fucking job.
Yeah, well, I was working, but working from home.
Oh, I know.
But the problem is working from home is shit because nothing works right. You know, because you're trying to get things to work that, you know, like everything's off a flash drive, or you got your Outlook here and it's not syncing up properly, and just dumb shit, dude. And I'm like, oh fuck, dude. And you know, and secondly, probably would have been the bar, you know,
Yeah,
keeping it right with that.
that's true.
You know, and just not having the freedom, you know, of having people look at you. Well, although, you know what, truth be told, man, even when things were locked down, I was still going places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't staying home like they were ordering.
Well,
you know,
working
I was
from home is a challenge as well, because a lot of people will thrive on the difference between their home and their work. Like when you
exactly.
when you get home, like that's why working from home was hard for me. A lot of times it wasn't super hard. I got used to it, but still, it was really weird, especially with me not even having a room dedicated to work. I just freaking worked here. You know,
right in your bedroom.
Right in my bedroom, and just kind of got off work, turned around, went to a different part of the room, and then it was like I have a little bit dedicated part of it, but still it's not the same. But for most people, that's really hard because they need that contrast.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you do.
And you'll feel lazier at home too, because you're like, fuck, I don't have to do. I can do that
Right.
later.
You don't want to work, and you're just like, oh man, I don't want to fuck. Let me take a break.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
And
stupid
there's no like well, I'm here. This is my job, and I'm here. This is my home. Like getting home from
And I
a
have to
day of
work.
work and be like, I'm home.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you're done, it's like, it's 5:00. All right, I'm home already. I've been here all day. I've been here for the last 3 weeks. Fuck.
Right. I'm looking forward to 4:30. Oh, that means I can close my Microsoft Teams and my Outlook.
Yeah, exactly. And then go in the living room and fucking sit in a different room or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, that's good. I'm glad that I get to still, take paratransit where I need to go and do. Yeah. No, it's like I said, this whole, the pause is pretty bullshit. I mean, as long as you keep your mask on and you fucking have to make reservations. That's about it.
Well, I don't know. And this kind of goes with into what we were talking about earlier today is, well, I don't know. What I understand is why people can't understand the two sides of the coin. The small business owner who just gets started and and is just got their business just getting going, all of a sudden it's crushed, and they're upset and going, we're not getting any support and any help, and then the other side's like, well, it's just the way it is. You're gonna have to deal with it. You want to kill your grandma?
Well, I think you answered your own question there. That's because that's big business's way of destroying any little competition. It's commie capitalism is what it is.
Well, even with businesses that don't really have competition, like karaoke places and stuff like that, like it's basically this like, and these people are like, well, you just should, I know people who have it, and I had this big argument in a group that I'm in.
This is where you're going.
Yeah,
I want to hear this story
too. It
too.
was really just like, and it was all about lacking, like you lack empathy because you don't, you want to have your business going, and you can fuck.
And what's wrong with
because,
that? Your business pays your bills,
and your business is your purpose. People don't understand. What's the point of living if you don't have a purpose of living, and if you're stressed out the whole time? Like he has no income, the government ain't helping anybody. They're all just sitting there in their house is about to go on recess again while they're trying to, at least I have, they have ice cream refrigerators, like freezers dedicated to fucking ice cream, and they're trying to say, we need to work on this a little longer,
Yeah,
but
holding you up, not giving a fuck about you,
But it's just the way these two realities, like this, everyone talks about the lack of empathy of these businesses that want to stay open, and I'm like, what do you mean? They're trying to keep people, like, giving people reasons to live. Like, oh yeah, we're alive. Okay, yeah, you're alive in your house. Like,
so how do these people eat if they can't open their business? You know what I'm saying? How do their families eat? So what about their
their stress? What about the rising levels of drug and alcohol addiction because people are stuck in their house and they're like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's always about the people whose grandma. Oh well, you should just be. Oh well, it's just you should be. But I'm like, people die every day from a number of different things. I mean, we have to at some point. We have to live.
Yep. Well, that's it. You can't turn the world off.
Take the risk and reward and go, okay, there is a risk for this disease. There's no question there is a risk. We take precautions. We do that. But to get mad at someone who has a business and to say, oh, you're the one who lacks empathy. You lack empathy toward those people who work really hard to get something going with their own sweat and blood and tears, on their hands, and then they get yanked away, and they have no support whatsoever, except for people telling, well, you just deal with it. And these are people, of course, who aren't really affected by, they might still be working fine, and they might not have an issue with working from home, or maybe they just don't have friends, they're shy, and they're fucking awkward, and they're like, oh, this is fine with me, I don't mind. Well,
or they work in the medical field, and they're just pushing the narrative. There was somebody I had a fight with on Facebook about that shit, and they were arguing with me and saying, I know what, trying to pull the whole I'm superior than you, I'm betterer than you because I work in the medical field, I have training you don't, and I understand this disease, and I understand.
That's why you're doing TikTok videos because you're so fucking have so much time on your hands because the ICUs aren't filled that much. And I don't know, who knows how much they're filled. The news media is such shit that we should know better than this by now. But they have an agenda. They always have an agenda. And unfortunately what happened is it went on political lines, unfortunately, where the people who wanted to go, we have our freedoms and our rights and we want to be able to continue to live our lives the way we are despite the risk, because it's not like people don't know the risk. But then,
you know what's going to happen.
But then that goes into the Trump side, and then the other side are the ones who want a lockdown, and now it's a political thing. So if you believe in freedom and being able to go out and do your thing and kind of take the risk of being around people and stuff like that, if you believe that, then you're a Trump supporter or you're on one political side. So the media, of course, is never going to be on that side. So they're always going to favor the other side because they're run by corporations too.
Of course,
corporations that are still going strong, like.
Well, these are big, like Amazon, Walmart, all those guys.
And the news, guess what, Jimmy? When people aren't at work, guess what they can be doing? Watching the news. No, they can watch the news and then buy shit through the commercials out here.
And we'll get them into debt, and then they'll owe us all kinds of money because they can get these cards through us, like an Amazon card or a Walmart card, So this is all big corporate bullshit, and it's their helping push the agenda.
On the other side, there's no fucking reason why you should have 50 people in a fucking house having a party. Fuck yeah, man, you're an idiot. You're an idiot too. You're endangering people as well. It's common sense, man. But you have to be able to live. You can't just shut down people and then get mad at people who have businesses saying that they're pissed, saying that that they're fucking lack empathy or whatever, and then they get in a big tiss over. And it's kind of funny because in this group, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it's a group that performs, an improv group. The guy who was saying that he's having business issues was a guy who allowed us to perform, and he set up the performance, and we were working with him to get he set up the performance venue. We were working with him to perform. He was the guy who's setting up that business, karaoke business, and other things. And then the person who was yelling was like, "Dude, you have this person let you."
And then they spit in their face by saying,
now we can't do it, so can't just take it,
The evil white man, how dare you want to, keep your business open and endanger the lives of others because you know what? Somebody else's welfare should be your personal responsibility.
Yes, because you should not have to be able to take your risk and take calculated risks that you want to take to live your life the way you want it, like we always do. Like we do now with the flu, like we do now with fucking car accidents and anything else that happens in your life, slipping on a fucking sidewalk and breaking your fucking neck, or whatever, that's the risk you take for living. And it's unfortunately people are so used to living in this country where risk is, oh my God. And that's why, when kids can't even go outside and play because of sex predators, whatever like that. You're depriving people of the ability to learn how to catch risk, and that's why none of us know, or a lot of us don't, because they've been fucking helicoptered their whole life. Oh, well, you can't do that. The government will tell you.
No, can't go outside.
Yeah,
you might breathe in COVID or something.
As you can tell, we both fall on the side of freedom, personal liberty, and freedom.
Of course.
Like you,
I mean, we grew up as Americans, man. Yeah. This is what. Oh, which, by the way, an old friend of ours made a comment. I had a shirt on that says "Reject Socialism," and I took a picture with it. And he comments on it and says, hey, man, good to see you on here, buddy. But let me just tell you, that shirt you're wearing is propaganda to the max. And he starts pushing this whole thing of socialism's actually a great thing. And I'm just like, whoa, dude, you grew up in America. Like, it would be one thing if you were, you grew up in Russia.
That's why they don't know that. That's why everyone who's grown up in socialist countries who come here can't stand it, because they've dealt with it before.
Right. That's
why
true.
He doesn't know. True. He doesn't know a goddamn thing, because he's like, oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, but you think if you had a freedom as an American, wouldn't you enjoy that? I mean, isn't that, you live in the greatest country in the world, and this is what you do?
Well, that's the problem with living in a free country that's pretty much like rich to everyone else in the world. Is, what is that quote? Hard times breed hard men, or strong men. Hard times bring strong men. Strong men breed good times. Good times breed weak men and women. Weak people, and weak people breed hard times. So that's the cycle. Like, hard times are conquered, like World War, the fight against Nazism, whatever, Germany. Right. Breeds strong individuals, strong people, and they usher in really good, prosperous times, which allows everyone to kind of relax, and that breeds of weak ass bitches like we have now. And those weak-ass bitches ruin everything and fuck everything up, and then we have hard times again.
Because you couldn't be a weak-ass bitch without freedom. I'll tell you that much.
You couldn't. That's the thing. That's the dichotomy, is that we are so free. We've said it before plenty of times. We have so much opulence and so much prosperity here that we don't have the ability to really understand how shitty other places are. So we think, oh, man, we're not getting McDonald's at 2 a.m. I'm fucking,
Right. And so they throw a fit, and it's like, man, this isn't fair. God damn it, I want my...
Or they're so used to being told, like, by your parents, because, the authority, because they fuck, that's why you have, you have other people solve all your shit for you, because, that's the way.
Have somebody think for you. Well, that's what else is crazy too. Is, at one hand, they buck authority, but yet they love having authority. It's having somebody, tell them what to do and when to shit. It's just like, wait, none of this makes sense, man.
The whole thing is just fucked up. It's just another raid example. Reason America is doomed.
I guess so.
Or dying, whatever you want to put it, because people, no one's trusting the gut. No one's trusting the elections. There's tons of shit going on with that. Or you either are the people that watch CNN and just watch CNN, and that's all you have. That's your information, fucking. To the world, so they told me, the news told me, Joe Biden was the president.
That must be real.
They don't tell anything. They don't have any fucking relevance onto the decision whatsoever. They don't call the election. It doesn't mean that he won. It just means that they called it. But right. People believe, they called the election. No, it doesn't actually get ratified till January. But people are stupid and don't understand that, because, like I said, they live in a country where everything's handed to them, and we're all about consuming. We're all about fucking, buying the next fucking big thing, or watching the next fucking stupid ass movie that doesn't do any goddamn thing at all. Oh, new fucking Superman movie's out, man.
New series on Netflix, man. You got to check it out. Oh no, that's okay, man.
Which most
I'm good.
Suck, because most new.
Oh yeah, most of that shit's garbage, dude. So.
Like we were talking about last
show. Which one?
The last show.
Oh,
we were talking about how music and everything just kind of sucks more today than it did before, because, it just does.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, I've seen a few things that have kind of grabbed my interest a little bit, made me kind of go, oh, that looks kind of interesting, but nothing that's just, especially recently, that's really jumped out at me. But, well, fuck. Well, man, it is what it is. Compromised elections and all that fucked up shit. Well, you know what should bother people about that, too, is, okay, even if the guy you wanted got in, the fact the election was compromised, period, should bother
this
you.
Isn't about Trump. It's not about Trump, or it's about whether you want a fair election and whether you can have faith in in your country, and half the country does not have faith at this point. So what I don't understand is, if you know that Joe Biden won, and you know that it was legitimate, then why are you worried about counting the votes? Why are you worried about looking into it? Look into it all you want.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, if your guy won fair and square, then cool. But, it's like saying, oh, man, somebody broke in my house and stole my TV, but that TV was an old piece of shit anyway. Well, shouldn't you still be alarmed that somebody broke into your house?
Yeah.
That's what should be the scary thing,
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Fuck, man. Well, on some lighter shit, unless you got any more heavy stuff.
I was going to end on that with is that.
Oh, go ahead, man.
Like people don't even realize some of the real questions they have. They just think it's just these assholes saying it's conspiracy questions. But if you ask people about Dominion, like you might not know about that because I've done
that's the software.
The software, but a lot of people probably don't because they don't. Well, what are you talking about? Well, how can you say anything about this election? You don't even know anything about it. Like you don't know about the Dominion software, or about the Pennsylvania issues, or about the Georgia where they told people to leave, or about 6 states stopping at the same time. This isn't about conspiracy. It's about let people figure it out and go, why is this happening? About the massive amount of statistical anomalies about this. Did you know that?
You got to think for yourself.
Dude, think about this stat. Just this one stat. Trump got 12 million more votes than he got last time. That's never happened in history. And he still lost. So
how is that possible?
And Joe Biden got more black votes in places like Detroit. And Trump has the highest level of minority votes in history. So it's like, just look. It's not about like, oh, this is right and this is wrong, because that's where we're at too. That's kind of the point with the COVID thing is like, well, I'm right. Businesses should be closed, full lockdown, and the business guys are like, no, it should be open completely and no lockdown, and people should be breathing each other's fucking faces all day. Like we shouldn't even have anything going on. We shouldn't have any kind of precautions at all. It's like, no, there should be precautions, but people should still be able to live and not worry about losing their fucking livelihoods in their houses.
Right.
And without having people tell them that they're fucking monsters or they lack empathy, because those other people have a job where they can still keep their income and can survive the lockdown without losing their fucking mind or their family, or they're just stressing out so badly that they can't handle it.
Yeah, those talking shit really have no room to talk shit, really, to be honest with you. Because, like you said, they have cushions, they have safety nets, whether they still have their jobs or they have some kind of annual leave or whatever they can take, where, these people, this is their bread and butter, man. Their business doesn't open, they don't eat.
And it sucks, like a group like that, like an improv group that's supposed to be about performing and having a good time and just, learning each other and being part of that group, accepting offers and being open to that. This is a chat on Facebook that was just like a chat that we have all the time. We'll do little jokes or stuff like that, like 3 blanks or innuendo. I like my men like I like my blanks.
Right.
It should never have even turned into that conversation in that place.
Well, here's my thing. This is what's turned me off to improv groups, I think. Groups like, the one we used to be in, even Toastmasters. A lot of those groups attract libtards, unfortunately, and this is where that shit. And dude, I think there's always been an inherent part of me that just doesn't like those kind of people, dude.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely subtract more of the more of that artistic type of left-leaning type of person. Absolutely, no question.
Yeah. That's why I think I've had some difficulties in the past, man. I never could put my finger on it. I'm like, why do I have issues with these fucking people? Not that it was horrible, but there was just some certain behaviors, like even the overly helpful people, the Sighty McJesus folks, you know what I'm saying? That's liberal shit again. Oh, God, the blind, the poor fucking disabled. He doesn't know any better. He can't wipe his own ass, shit like that. So I was always running up against that stuff. And I think that was the core of my issues, man. So it's funny you bring that up.
Part of it, but I guess, but in any group right now, it's like that's going to happen. It seems like that's happening with everything. Like you're either on one side or the other, and it's this or that. It's not that way. It's grays. It's people. There are people that have good points on both sides of this thing, but it's two sides now, and you got to pick one instead of actually having a fucking nuanced perspective of everything. Oh,
Like being able to think for yourself again. There we go. You know, yeah, being able to think for yourself. Oh God, God forbid you deviate away from your fellow whatevers. You know what I'm saying? Like, patriots or like for instance, a big thing that I'm not really big with the patriot folks is they're all into religion and Jesus and Christianity, and that ain't me, man.
yeah, that's definitely something that
religion is a slavery too.
that bugs me as well too, because you see a lot of people like that. We don't want to name names or anything, but I mean,
We know names, we know people.
Oh yeah, like there, and there's nothing wrong with some of their views, but like there's a lot of them. Like Officer Tatum is one. Like I said, he might have some great views you might agree with, but he talks about God a lot, and it's like, all right, bro.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Where I believe I'm going to get saved, and I believe I'm going to. And I'm like, oh, dude, can you keep that out of there,
Yeah,
please?
just talk about the
okay.
issues, because you're alienating a bunch of people who don't need that in their fucking.
Yeah, that's which is crazy because my brother even goes there sometimes, which is funny because
Yeah.
if you remember my brother,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, he's always been fanatical in some ways, which is
true. And I guess depends on what the fanaticism is and where it leans.
Just, you got to find a way to pour that fanaticism into whatever he's doing.
Into something, yeah. It's just funny that they're polar opposites how they used to be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 20 years ago it was a totally different thing. Where now it's his tune has changed. So,
yeah.
but all of our tunes have changed in a way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
different than I was 15 years ago. There's a lot of things I wouldn't, I'm more leaning toward that I wasn't before. For instance, one of the things is healthcare. I used to think, oh, who gives a shit? If you don't have the, but now I'm like, why shouldn't you? We have the ability to, to help people.
Oh.
Why shouldn't people be able to get help without having to fucking lose their goddamn, their fucking livelihoods with our
well, see, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
With those kind of, now people don't have health plans and there's all kinds of shit going on.
No, dude, the fucking everything's all fucked, man. We're in uncharted territory, man. This is the only thing we got to hold on. Like I say before, I'm going to reiterate again. Hold on to the people you can trust. Get involved in the things that you can control, and get passionate about the things that you are into. If it's like your purpose for music, like if you have that ability to do that, and that's another thing about these people. They don't like I said, don't realize that guy. He was passionate about his business. That was his purpose. Of
course he is.
And then he has nothing. It's gone.
Yeah.
And that's like saying, like, taking away your religion in a way. It's like taking away like what you really live for, doing, like, get up and do for that. You feel like doing with your life.
Like if they told us, okay, you guys can't do your show anymore,
Yeah.
or you can't, whatever.
Or I'm sorry, we're gonna have to stop you from even meeting for your Earthling group. Like, what?
Oh yeah, imagine that, dude.
Yeah, that would
would
tell them
really
to go eat their own asshole. They can shit on their own, shit in their own mouth and gargle on the fucking fecal matter and suffocate on it. But
right. Exactly.
I ain't doing that's the thing, and that's what these people are doing. But people don't understand that who don't own businesses, I think, and don't really work hard for that kind of thing. And there's nothing wrong, there's nothing that's saying, well, these are better people or not. But people who really like sweat to try to get something off the ground and then have it ripped out from under them, they're not going to be like, well, this lockdown is fine, everything's wonderful, I can deal with it. Just be safe, keep grandma safe, you grandma killer. No.
Well, and that's the thing too. If you're not in the situation, you really aren't qualified to speak on it. Like if the person doesn't own their own business, they really shouldn't be telling somebody, hey, buddy, you really should close your personal responsibility there.
Yeah, and that's empathy. That's real empathy, not this fucking. Oh, I'm empathetic because I care about grandma. No, you don't. You're scared of your. You might care about grandma. That's great. Like I said, you may care. You do care. But other people have different ways of caring, and they feel like they should be able to live their lives in different ways. And that's the fucked up part about this, is that everyone thinks that the people going out and going out to do things and doing things in their lives are fucking killing people.
Well, I'm a killer then, and you're a killer too, I guess.
Yes, so it's a small. I try to avoid mass murder by hanging out with only a small group of people, but still. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, well, maybe I may be Charles Manson.
You might be, because you would be. You're like, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah, dude. For the most part, I just live my life. Fuck that. I put my mask on. Yep. I don't fight about the mask. That's a stupid thing to fight over. But hey, I still go out and do my stuff,
Yeah,
man.
when it gets to the point of a family is sitting down for Thanksgiving and a cop knocks on your door saying that they have to disperse, no,
Yeah, not cool at all.
no,
That's not cool.
there's a point where that's just because that's breaking up some very important things that you don't. Even, we don't want to fuck with. I mean, we fuck with certain
Well, they
things
say,
like
man,
that, then
blood is thicker than mud. You know what I mean? And that's you're fucking with blood because it's family.
yeah, and
You know,
what if
like you're telling. You know,
you got an 85-year-old grandma who doesn't give a shit because she wants to see her nephews on Christmas and doesn't care
she should go.
that she doesn't, she doesn't care because it's the last time she may ever see her family because she's 80 fucking 5 and doesn't give a fuck
See,
about a virus.
Exactly. Like, oh well, shit, I got cancer. You know, like, okay. So, but that's the thing too. A lot of seniors are just, especially, I feel bad for the ones that live in assisted living facilities. Because they're being told, nope, you can't do this.
Yeah.
Nope, you got to stay in your apartment. And fuck that in the face, dude. I will, I told you, man, if I ever got to live in an assisted living, that shotgun in the closet's going in my mouth, man.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Most elderly that I know of are like, fuck this shit. They're going to church. They're going to work.
Yeah.
They're living their lives.
Like our parents.
Because they've
parents are
lived
productive.
through shit, mostly. The 70-year-olds and 80-year-olds, they've lived through
Hell yeah.
the world where it was shit compared to what it is now.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and they
I'm
had
not gonna let
all kinds of fucked up things, smallpox and measles, shit that would have killed them, back in the day. And they're just like, dude, what?
Exactly.
Cool. So it's only the cucky old people that I'm seeing that are like, well, we gotta hunker down.
Yep.
And you're like, no, man, think for yourself.
Yep. And like I said, I know it's bad in certain places, and I know, but I mean, it's not as bad as. I have no idea what the fuck's going on, honestly. So people say it's bad in certain places. California's a mess. There's so many fucking COVID cases, and but then other places it's like, okay. Well, how do you know?
For certain places, they're not even like Montana.
Mm-hmm.
They said, fuck it, we're not shutting down. Florida said, fuck it, we're opening completely back up. So yeah, it's a lot of that's just it's power grab bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
That's all it is, man.
Definitely is. When you especially when you got these fuckers who are saying we need to lock down, then they go out to dinner with 30 people.
Oh yeah,
Like the governor of Newsom, whatever his fucking governor of Michigan too, Whitner.
Oh yeah. Well, Similac did something here too, like that a while. He had a Halloween party, and he made everybody give their cell phones up, so they couldn't take pictures.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. What is for me is not for thee. These people think they actually have this kind of they do have this kind of power, obviously, because people are a bunch of.
And then you got Mario Homo in New York telling police they're dictators if they don't want to, follow his orders.
Yeah,
you're a dictator.
Focusing on the Jewish, the Orthodox Jew community. Yeah, that's a great way to go about it, dude. Yeah, like fucking trying to break up church services on Sunday, but allow people to meet up for the Biden celebration. Yeah, great.
Oh yeah.
Fucking
all good.
Fucking nuts. We're all, like I said, man, hold on for the ride because it ain't gonna get any better, dude.
Shit. It's yeah.
Yeah.
I just kind of close. Honestly, I don't really watch much news. Most of my shit comes from alternative media sources and stuff.
Yep. Stick with your pack. Stick with those you love, man, and just focus on keeping them up and going. So
that's what I'm doing, man. Well, I got a few other things, some little more lighthearted deals real quick. Okay. So now I know you knew, but about a month ago, I don't think our audience knows this shit, but I went on a date with a chick.
Oh.
And she was, I think I told you that, didn't I?
Yeah, I think so.
She's and she was way younger than me, dude. She's like 28, which normally I don't go for younger women, but it's kind of funny because she's actually, whose cousin she is Mr. Skydiving. Want to go skydiving?
Okay. Yeah, gotcha.
It's his cousin, and I guess like her and Leopard all hang out together, so they're kind of buddies. So that's why I met her, was over at Leopard's house, and so we went out on a date. This is about a month ago, and we went for lunch, and then I brought her back to my house, and man, this just shows you growing up because I didn't. Back in the day, what I would have tried to do, right?
Foot massage first, then go from there.
Oh, I did the foot massage. I did that. Okay. We made out a little bit. But other than that, I didn't try anything more, man. I could have probably taken it further. Now thinking about it, I probably could have taken it further. But anyway, I saw her about a week ago, and she was over at Leopard's house. And she said, she goes, how did she put it? She goes, hey, I just want to let you know. and I give her props for doing this. She goes, I got back with my ex, and I'm like, oh, okay. I wasn't pissed off or anything, but I thanked her for being honest, so she didn't, she was like, I just don't want you to waste your time and think that maybe we had a chance or whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Don't worry about it. But I'm thinking now, like, damn, should I have fucked her that day or should I have just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That is
because there's a part of me going, man, you should have beat that pussy that day. Beat that pussy like an abused child. But then there's another part of me that's like, well, if I did that, I probably would have had some issues.
Not only that, but if you did that, would she have told you that she was back? Who knows what she would have told you in that situation?
That's true. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
And one thing about going on a date with somebody for the ex-boyfriend, is one thing. But going on a date with the ex-boyfriend and fucking it, like, you fucked my girl, like
that's true.
That's a difference.
Like she can never say I fucked her.
Yeah, you were a gentleman and you were good, and so you did what you were supposed to do, and now there's no attachment, no involvement. So,
right.
You know how it is.
Oh, goddamn! I did want to fuck her though, man. Truth be told.
Yeah.
My dick was rock hard the whole time, but I was controlling myself just because I didn't, what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I don't want to, she seems cool. I don't want to disrespect her,
And now she respects you and she's telling you that everything and now you might be like, oh man, but like I said, man, like I say all the time, that one time could have led to, who knows what that could have led to. You never know.
True.
I mean, it could have been great. You never know. Maybe she would never have gotten it back with her boyfriend if she had fucked her. Maybe you guys would be dating.
Maybe.
But,
well, the other thing.
But.
Oh, go ahead.
But then again, if she obviously feels like getting back with him that easily and that quickly after breaking up, you guys could have fucked and then they could have gotten like hung out again and then it could have gotten meshy.
Oh yeah. Well, here, let me just add a little more to the mess here. Okay, so remember the night that I stayed home and watched you guys instead of because I was supposed to go out. Mm-hmm. What the plan was, it was her birthday. So Leopard asked me if I wanted to join them at this place called Wildfire. I think it's like a bowling alley bar type place or whatever. So my original plan was I was going to go. And then, of course, remember, I felt like shit from drinking the night before. So I was like, I'm going to sit this one out, guys. Well, she was telling me, I guess, that her ex, the whole thing got really fucked up, dude. I guess her ex showed up. And then another dude showed up that she's friends with, and the ex and the other guy almost got into it. And I'm like, oh,
okay, yeah. All right.
So
that confirms that confirms my part of it. Not my part. That confirms that you were right in not doing that because think about it.
Right.
Just a friend getting in a fight with her. You would have been there. If you would have banged her, you might have been banging again. She might, because think about it, you might, he might have,
or they saw us make it out or some shit, who knows, dude. Yeah, no, it's probably better than nothing.
If that guy's about to get in a fight with a friend, and why would he show up without like, why would he just show up? Like, yeah, I'm gonna show up. Listen,
I think she invited them is what I think happened because then this way they could,
maybe
they fight over.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like. It seems like you dodged a bullet in my mind, dude.
Well, that's it. That's why there's part of me going, damn, I should have fucked her, but then there's another part of me going, hey man, don't you understand? There's more here than just fucking her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, because first of all, first date fucking is okay, but first date's fucking when she's just how long was she broken up with this dude?
Oh, I don't know.
Obviously not,
I don't even know the history.
I bet they weren't even quote unquote broken up, but they were probably like dabbling in each other's,
on the outs kind of deal.
Yeah, like fucking each other still, fucking, kind of fucking seeing each other, like,
could have
messy.
been.
I'm not about that messiness, man. That's some messy
shit.
Dude.
No,
that could have been bad, dude. Especially if you guys were dating and that birthday night you had gone over there, and then you were all into her, and then start hanging out more, and because that does change the intimacy a bit. And then all of a sudden, the old boyfriend gets back in the mix, and you're like, oh, baby.
Well, you do bring up an interesting point here, man, with the boyfriend. Could he have still been on the outside a little bit? Because after we went on our date, I texted her a few times, over the weeks and said, hey, do you want to have dinner tonight? Or you want to do this? And at first she'd say, cool, that she was down. But then something would come up. She'd have some excuse. Oh, I had an unexpected expense. I'm sorry to cancel on you. Or I had this go on to, and you're just going, what's up with all the excuses? So yeah, dude, he could have been still hanging out in the mix there.
It seems like that might be, especially if he's coming out and hanging out with her when he's like not supposed to be there, or when,
Right. Like what like I don't know, man. I mean, I have some ex-girlfriends, but you know, we're friends now, but it took some time. They weren't just like, "Oh, they're my ex," and "Oh, now we're hanging out again."
Yeah.
2 weeks later.
Yeah. My
Like,
opinion on that one is it doesn't really matter at this point, honestly, because you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's all water under the bridge, and we're civil. So it's like, you know, if I see her again, you know, hey, what's up,
Now,
furry?
if she says again, "Hey, I broke up with my boyfriend. You want to go on a date?" We're not.
Yeah, I think I'd be a little bit. I'd be like, oh, we'll see. Well, you know, I wouldn't say no, but I would kind of just, you know, yeah, you know, maybe sometime, you know, just kind of blow it off, you know, that kind
Lessons learned, things to ponder, man, things to think about.
Yeah, and I got one more thing. This is something her cousin did, dude. Something Josh did, Mr. Skydiving. So he didn't have a job. That's the thing. He was living with Wolverine. That's what I call her. And her mom for a long time. And I guess he couldn't afford the rent there. So they told him he had to leave because he wasn't working. So Leopard let him stay at her house. And so I guess he was sleeping in her shed. That's where they let him sleep, apparently. And I guess he offered to like cut the lawn and clean the pool. Well, he wasn't doing any of this shit. She just kept telling me how lazy he was, and you know, oh, he just lays in the shed, and then fucking, you know, he's up all night, and then he makes excuses why he can't look for work. So Tango Car, which is the service I use, right? And that's, you know, like another thing now through kind of RTC. But there's a guy who owns the company. His name's Larry. And I'm cool with Larry. I got Larry on my phone and everything. And Larry was saying last time he picked me up, he was like, yeah, man, we're really short some drivers. I really would like to get some more drivers. And I'm like, oh, something. Well, Josh needs a job. Hey, Josh. So I give Josh Larry's number and everything. And at first, everything was looking promising. You know, I guess Leopard texted me and said, you know, Josh has got an interview tomorrow, and I think he has the job. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking awesome. I was like, he'll probably pick me up one day or something. So the next day, I don't know if she texted me or I texted her. I can't remember. But I was asking how it went. And she goes, well, he's got one DUI on his record from 25 years ago. So I don't know if he's going to get it now. Yeah, guess what?
He didn't.
He didn't get it now.
That wouldn't do it.
So,
that wouldn't do it. That's 25 years. There's a statute of limitations where that has to be at some point.
You think. So you think there's more shit going on?
I think that's what he said. I think that's what he told him.
Oh, so this is his story for everybody.
Come on, 25 years ago? I know people with DUI.
You're right.
That's fucking 25. That's a long fucking time ago, man.
Although it is a driving job, to be fair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot. That just seems like it seems like a convenient excuse.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, it's possible. Well, either way, he had some kind of blemish on his record. Now I feel kind of like a dick because I'm like, oh, man, you know, here it is. I recommend this fuckface. And he goes over there and has something on his record. You know, like something I didn't even know about. I'm like, oh, shit.
Probably a DUI from 25 days ago, not 25 years.
It could, well, I don't know what it could, well, let's see, he does drive that motorcycle. I guess maybe he could have got it.
Knows, dude.
But it's crazy, man. But yeah, people are up to their wild shit. And so that was my, you know, again, I know you fuck with me about it all the time, but trying to help people.
No, it's good, man. That was a good thing. Hey, you know, people need a job. That's not the kind of help that I get. I know. I get help. I get that because you become a blind Gezoid, man. You become fucking the blind bliper, dude.
Oh, with the blindos, yeah.
Like, oh God, why don't they do stuff for themselves? And you're always like, well, maybe I could fucking mentor these guys. You know, it's like,
yeah, that's, you know, sometimes it's a thing that I happen to wind up falling into. You know, where I'm just like, oh shit, you know. Well, okay, like the thing with the camper kid, that was all on me, dude. I did that. That was my fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yep,
so I'll eat that one. I will eat that one proudly.
I think though that like I said with that, man, I mean, you shouldn't feel bad about that because you're not supposed to know anybody intimate. That'd be like, well, like you see him next time, it's like, well, I'm sorry, but you fucking gave that guy my, you know, he applied and you fucking, you know, he had an issue.
Yeah, well, I'm still going to say something to him. I'm still going to say, hey, Larry, I didn't realize that he had that thing on his record. I wouldn't even
say anything because they might not. That's none of your business, really.
Well, that's true. Oh, that's true because it is work related shit.
Yeah, you might just want to be like, hey, you know, sorry, I didn't go through for him. You know.
Yeah.
Like being like, because you're not responsible for him, man.
Well, it's true. That's true. Well, but you always feel like, damn, you want to send good people. You want it to be a win-win for everybody. And then when later you find out that the guy's not playing with a full deck, you're like, oh, man.
Or maybe he just wasn't. Maybe there was another reason why he wasn't right for it. But he's using that excuse because that's an easy excuse to use. Well, yeah, because that also makes you go, why would they deny him for a job from something that happened 25 years ago? He's learned his lesson and changed his ways.
That's true. Like we'd bite right on board.
It's another way of making it look like he's a victim instead of him being a shitty guy who had a shitty interview and they didn't want him in their corporation.
Yeah, well, you know what? And Leopard did kick him out eventually because he was not pulling his weight and he was just kind of mooching over there. So she said, "You got to go, man."
Yeah. So
later.
That guy, you wouldn't believe. Yeah, he's doing that when people are giving him a place to stay. They don't even know him all that much.
Yeah. It's a shame, man, because he's a cool guy. I like the guy, but fuck, man, if you're just just a fuck up.
Yeah.
Well, that goes to show you why he's been talking about skydiving for 2 years now, and it's never gone through.
Yep.
So anyway, well, that's all I got, man. I don't know if you have anything.
No, just like I said, surviving the creepy year. Everyone, this will probably be our last broadcast of 2020. So just hang in there, and let's hope that the creepiest year in existence doesn't become even creepier.
Yeah, it doesn't become the new creepy.
Creepy.
Actually, we might be able to get one more in before the end of the year.
We may. Maybe we'll see how it goes. We'll see how things develop over the next 2 weeks. Because kids, there are still 2 weeks left in this bad boy.
Oh yeah, there could be more excitement.
The climax is always the biggest part of the movie. Is always the climax. The most exciting.
That's right. It's that load. It's the load you blow, man.
So this load might be blowing all over all of us before the end of the year, and it might lead into a interesting time. So hang on there. We'll be back. We'll back at some point soon, maybe.
Yeah, floating in the flush condom.
Anyways,
that's what we'll be doing.
This is the 20th of 20. Sorry, 20.
20th? Oh damn! He just wants the year to go faster.
It's the 15th of December, 2020. I am Cruise Control,
and I'm Maxwell Silverhammer,
and that's the story there, bitches. I'm dreaming of a clean Christmas.
We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred.
With Maxwell Silverhammer.
We are nothing sacred.